ओम ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्री गुरुं परमानंदं वंदे स्वानंद विग्रहम् यस्य सानिध्यमात्रेण चिदानंदायते तनुः। So we were discussing in the last class that with reference to Kundalini Shakti, so there are a few things also that the person in verse number 53, Brahmachari, Mitahari, Tyagi, Yogaparayana, Abdad Urdham Bhavet Siddha, Na Atra Karya Vichara. So little more than a year, one is supposed to get Siddhi if the person starts following it properly. And of course, there are certain do's and don'ts that we discussed. Continuing verse number 54. Susnigdham madhuraharam chaturtham savivarjitam pujyate swarasampriti mitahari sauchyate. Here he says beautifully. The word he uses called mitahari. So that means the one who takes aharam is called ahari. The one who eats called eater. So ahari. And the person has to be mita. So that means mitahari, if you want to literally translate, called friendly eater. And here he says as that a moderate eater, or actually this is how supposed to be. So he gives a definition. Who is called a mitahari? So that means first thing he says the person pujyate. So you need to look for verb. Okay, where is the verb? So uchyate is called, that's also another passive. Now here also bhujyate, one who eats. So now what does the person eat? So who is that person? That person is called mitahari. So what does he or she eat? Madhura aharam. So the aharam, the food, supposed to be madhuram, sweet and pleasant. Not a karam, okay? Not kattu amla, okay? Already we have seen in verse number 52. Kattu, amla, lavana. So these three not good at all. So then not only it should be madhuram, the aharam, also susnigdham. So susnigdham means it should not be dry. So there should be, you can add butter, you can add ghee, you can add oil. If not, at least add, something lentil. So some juice should be there inside, okay? That's why milk is one of the best. Warm milk. So it should be so snigdham, well greased. So greasing has to be done, okay? Well decorated. So unctuous. Okay, fine. So that means very nice. He says, no, not only that. Before that, one is supposed to what should do? Swarasam prityai. So swarasam prityai is a very technical word we use. In order to have the essence of the food, or you can say for the sake of to enjoy the essence of the food, so you need to remove the gross part, gross aspect or grossness of the food. So how to remove the grossness of the food? So we have this trick is that before eating, one is supposed to offer the food to the deity, which in Bhagavad Gita highlights that if you don't offer food and eat, you are called stena. So you are called a thief. You understand the concept? That's why the basic thing we follow with reference to food, I would little bit bring it carefully for some of you. The difference between this Indian cooking and cooking. Other people, when they cook for gross body. That's why you look at nutrition. You look at carbo, you look at mineral, you look at this, not to be boiled, not to do this, not to do that. Good, nothing wrong in it. But Indian food is overcooked, okay? Don't ask me whether it's right or wrong, okay? That's another extreme. Here we say this is the difference between Indian cooking and general cooking. Indian cooking is done the food not for the body, for the mind. Mind and body. So we say we take care of Sukshma Sharira and Stula Sharira. The approach is entirely different. Whereas common cooking is meant for Stula Sharira, gross. And because the approach is different, now the process of cooking and everything becomes different. To start with, like one is not supposed to cook without cleaning the kitchen in the morning. No, last night I cleaned. You understand? Early morning or without cleaning the kitchen, one is not supposed to cook. Because if you cook, what happens? Automatically, the food that you cook will be meant for gross body. The effect will go more towards gross body than the subtlety. Because the heaviness, the grossness that night was or is prevalent in that kitchen. Number one. Number two, without taking shower, one is not supposed to cook. Some exceptions are there. If you want to have some hot water, coffee, that can be exception, but very clear exception to be made. So that you make sure that the impact must go to the subtle body, not gross body. And also we make sure before cooking, we light a lamp to make sure, even if without my knowledge, whatever grossness is there, let that grossness be taken care of by the lamp. And of course, religiously, people keep different photos, different deities. Commonly, they keep Annapurna or Lakshmi. Actually, supposed to be, because those who are scared of money, they put Lakshmi. And they are more poor, like Odisha, for example. Odisha, every kitchen you will find Lakshmi. That's why Odisha fellows are poor. See, more you run behind Lakshmi, Lakshmi will run away from you. So it should be technically Annapurna. But however, one other aspect, let us say. These are the basic things. And of course, while cooking, as all of you know, today I went to the cooking class. One is not supposed to smell. Not allowed. Inevitably, whatever smell comes, that is different. But you understand? Not allowed. In fact, you are not supposed to see the food keeping both the eyes open, okay? You understand? That's why people are not allowed to enter into the kitchen. We don't allow people to enter into the kitchen. Strictly, people are not allowed to the kitchen at all. Kitchen should be that much restricted as you restrict your bedroom or your money room, whatever you keep prosperity. That should be. And interestingly, when one starts cooking, the attitude is that I am cooking for the deity. That's why you are not allowed to taste. Food cannot be tasted. You know, with the left hand. You understand? Right hand, left hand. Oh, salt is less. Salt is more. So that means neither you can see, nor you can smell, nor you can taste. Also, you need not talk, oh, today this food, that food, elaborate. Because whole purpose is the food that I am preparing is meant for deity, so that my subtle body or whoever eats, their subtle body will be taken care. That's why food must not be reheated. In fact, the rule is food is supposed to be eaten maximum 3.5 hours to 4 hours. Food that you have cooked after 3.5 hours to 4 hours, you are not supposed to eat. That becomes tamas food. But nowadays the technology is there, everything is covered, protected. So again, you can put it in the micro oven or whatever, warm it and eat. Okay. Wow, what a taste. Good. Please continue. So keeping all this background, then the food is being offered to the deity. Then only a person is supposed to eat. And while eating also, the person cannot eat the moment food is served. Especially if you go to restaurant or other countries, I see. The moment something comes to the table, they start eating, okay, appetizer. Starts eating, talking, gossiping, how, left, right. Like as though, they are hungry for years. No manners at all. And they consider that is manner. That's the sad part of life. However, that's why what you do generally, some of you, especially those who do anna upasana. Remember when you do this pranahaya, swapanasya, what does it mean? It is anna upasana. So the trick is, first you sip the water with the mantra. So when you sip the mantra with the water, so you are supposed to visualize that on the stomach you are keeping a cloth. The water becomes the cloth. Then of course you keep eating with all the sixth, fifth pranas and Brahmani Swaha. And after completing the food, again what you do, you are supposed to sip once more water towards end. And visualizing that the food that you kept on the cloth protected in the stomach, again another layer of protection of water you are covering with it. So the food that you have taken is well protected in you. That's why Agastya Rishi says what? Batapi jirno bhava. Atapi jirno bhava. You know the story or not? Some people have habit. You know what they do? They put little bit water on their stomach, okay? After food, okay? Let everything get digested. All the elderly people you should watch. They don't care. In fact, do you know where they put the water? Where is Kundalini Shakti? Today the verse. How? Without going in details, he says, Bhujyate Surasam Prityai. He uses this one word with all the background, okay? So one need to offer the food to the deity. At least thinking that if you are technically very good, that with anna upasana, one is supposed to have food. If not, at least offer to the deity. In this regard, to be very honest, in present day, I respect this Hare Krishna movement. I may have my own conclusion, own remarks about them, but with reference to food, I really respect them. They follow really very well strictly. Overseas, if you ask me anywhere, including in India, if somebody says, I am part of this ISKCON movement, Hare Krishna movement, I will not have any problem to have food in their house. Because they follow certain rules. In fact, they go to that extent, unless tulasi leaf is being put on the rice or food, they will never eat or serve. And they do follow, because I have noticed in different countries, including New Zealand and other countries, they really follow perfectly. So coming back here, that making sure I am not eating for my body. That's why this left hand, right hand, both hand, the way I want, not allowed at home. Because when I have to do something for a deity, how to give? Unless I am a tribal person. You understand? If I am a cultured person, there are certain protocols. And most importantly, not only that, he says, Chaturthansa Vivarjita. This is also a beautiful point to observe. So when you eat, there are different versions. Actually, the right would be whatever capacity you can consume, you are supposed to divide into four parts. Based on the age and physical work, we change certain things. Ideally speaking, one portion should be food, two portions should be water, and one portion supposed to be left for air movement. That is what is being highlighted here. Chaturthansa vivarjitam iti. The fourth quarter to be kept empty, not eating till the, not, they say, till the nose, okay? So above mouth, not throat, okay? Till the nose. You understand? Then after that, you become a pig, okay? So you need a place to lie down. How the pig starts, crawling, scrolling, this, that. And of course, later on also you become pig, okay? Don't worry. Thinking becomes pig, body also becomes pig, both. And because of that reason, so there is a group, at least they respect you, okay? They don't touch you. There is one religion, okay? They don't touch pig, okay? So at least those sort of you are very protected from this tamasic people, at least. This is my version, okay? Don't take it seriously. However, here he says, if this is being followed, then only that person called mitahari. In fact, that person is a eater. One is supposed to eat in this way, especially being a yogi. Okay. Why all these things? Because if you are interested in what? In this kundalini. Continuing. Kandvardham kundalini sakti shubha moksha pradayini bandhanaya cha mudhana yastham vetti sa yogavite. So this is the technically 2 points to be highlighted. We need to look at. The first point is that as Vedantin highlights, mind is the cause of bondage and liberation. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoh. So mind alone is the cause of both bondage and freedom. It depends upon a person how one uses mind. So here that is being very carefully presented that the kundalini also is the cause of both bondage and freedom. Mudhanam bandhanaya, for an ignorant person, deluded person, confused person, the kundalini is the cause of bandhana, bondage. Whereas the one who is the knower of yoga or yogavit, in fact, he says, Yastam Veti sa yogavit, the one who knows this, that person is a yogavit. For a yoga with, for a knower of yoga, same Kundalini Shakti is Shubha Moksha Pradayini. It is auspicious, also giver of moksha, liberation. Now, while discussing, this is what wants to highlight. So, where is that Kundalini? We have discussed it is a Kanda. It looks like egg. So, then my question may arise, is it the egg of bird or egg of, what is the biggest egg? Like this size big eggs are available now. All these, different type of birds and all these things. So this is whose egg? So is it the egg of a serpent? Serpent egg also is there. Okay, very small. So whose size of the egg? Different text do talk differently. Actually, very nicely, in other Upanishads highlight this Kundalini Shakti is in between this Manipuraka Chakra and Medram. That we have also talked earlier. So don't ask me what is Medram, okay? Now, this being the location, the height of this Kundalini Shakti, the area where it is located, could be 9 angulas. So angula means 1 finger, okay? So based on your finger. So 9, 8 plus 1. The height, or you can say length, of Kundalini location, where all the nadis are formed as Padmatantu, like also Mani, we have discussed in details. So it would be 9 angula, 9 fingers. And the width would be 4. It's a very nice point to observe. 9 by 4. So that means what? The center would be 4 and top becomes less, so that it is a andakriti, oval shape. Also being highlighted, the natural color of it would be white. In fact, when you spend time, when you start practicing whatever we have discussed, you will start seeing it, feeling it. So that's why all these elderly people, after food, so they put some water in that area, you understand? Take care of that area. In fact, we say, take care of your Jataragni. If you don't have Brahmagni, you understand, the fire of knowledge, at least have the fire of digestion, digestive fire. So make sure that the digestive fire should be strong. However, here he says that when the person knows this, that this is the location of Kundalini, Generally, by default, people will keep practicing mainly three asanas. So they are Padmasana, Siddhasana, and Vajrasana. So these three asanas become tool to stabilize, to penetrate, to take care of Kundalini Shakti. That's why there are different methods of practicing. I have noticed one group, and also I saw in one text also contextually. When they practice, they will tie down a small white cloth in that area to cover, to protect. In fact, I also noticed very well, especially in Himalayas here, elderly people, especially ladies, because they work a lot than men. Do you know what they do? They make sure their waist, and of course with that down below, tied down with cloth properly. And they make sure, that is what they say, that if you take care of that, neither you will have back pain, nor you will feel cold. There will be few layers. And they tied it so nicely, so well, and they could manage. Whereas in present fashion world, that place should be as open as possible. It's completely opposite way. So here he says, look, one is supposed to take care of that place, and that too doing these three asanas. So through these three asanas, you stabilize yourself. That's why if you observe yourself, when your digestion is not okay, or you have some complications with reference to your kidney, digestive tract, you will not be able to be on Vajrasana for a long time. Try. It will be very difficult. Because each posture is being designed. In fact, we had a plan, we started in Italy, but finally we could not do it because of many other things. By God's grace, if things moves, we need to, the scientifically prove the effect of all the posture. Only paperwork, don't do it. Data is there. Conclusion also we have. But to the so-called thinking people, we have to prove. So that is a process. Follow the process, you arrive at the place. However, along with that, he says, do pancha mudra. So verse number 53 onwards, we'll be discussing pancha mudra. That we will see tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, all of you.